Guys, what is up? Welcome back.
Welcome back
to another episode of House Rules Podcast. I'm Alex Gettlin.
I'm Rachel LaForce.
We're your hosts.
It's episode 21.
How you feel about that? Pretty cool, right? Think about where we were, not just us personally, but as society, where we were 21 weeks ago and where we are now.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather not.
Okay.
I don't think that's not a fun game for me. Hey, remember 21 weeks ago when you had goals?
Yeah.
You thought you were going to save some money?
We still have goals. One of the goals is grow this podcast. So if you're watching, please tell your friends.
Gross.
Dude, honestly, no, but okay, shameless plug at the top.
You keep talking. My hair's messed up.
Okay. If you guys like this, if you're like, this is kind of fun, these comedians, they're cute, they make me laugh, just share it once in a while. I know that like people are posting stuff, and if you don't want to share it, that's fine. But just know that it does actually help us a ton. If you're like, hey, this is a funny thing I tune into once a week, let a friend know. You know, we're trying to just share some fun stuff during quarantine, get everybody, a way to take their mind off stuff. So I will say we did agree we're going to try and do minimal COVID talk as much as possible.
Well, it's more of me saying, how about you minimize your need to talk about COVID?
And I took your suggestion and I've compartmentalized it, and I'm doing all of my COVID stuff away from you because, it's driving you nuts.
It's making me Looney Tunes.
I will say this. One thing that has come out of it, we talked about this a little bit, but I never had any doubts that we were going to have a wonderful marriage and we'll be together forever. But this, like, if we can get through this, we're fine. You know what I mean? Like, if we can survive, it's never going to be more annoying than the way we're around each other right now. You know, we'll have hardships and stuff, but I guess what I'm saying is if you love someone, quarantine with them, and then you'll know if it's really true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive, huh?
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Well, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to start, but you feel like you seem like you're leading the charge, so I'm just I'll be your your co-pilot.
You're judging your hair. You're getting yourself.
Well, we started. I didn't know we were. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what do we always start with?
I don't know.
What's our first segment?
The week wrap up.
All right. So let's recap our week. Now, one thing we did get to do that was great is we saw some friends. We got to social distance socialize, hang out with a few great people.
Well, yes and no. It's interesting because everybody's comfortability level is different right now. And I feel like I've taken a pretty, what I view as like middle of the road approach. I have a lot of family in healthcare, and that are relaying. Actually, in very different areas, I have people in Ohio, people in Michigan, people here, people in
LA?
California.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm talking about like people that are in nursing and like are actually in hospitals.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah.
So that are giving me information of like, boots on the ground, what they're experiencing.
Right.
So I feel like I've taken a pretty middle of the road approach, which is there is no vaccine, so I'm not going to stay inside forever. I am healthy. That doesn't mean that everyone is. So I wear a mask when I go out, and I keep an appropriate distance, and I wash my hands.
Yeah. I think.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose my mind.
I mean, I as we started, like, we're not going to talk about COVID, and then it's like, it's literally impossible.
Why do you think you're so obsessed with what's happening in the world? What about it?
You brought it up.
Because I was going to start talking about when we were seeing people, because you made it sound like we were like super like social distancing, this and that. And then I was going to go into how it's interesting because I feel like everybody has a different
take on it.
Well, everybody has a different comfortability level.
Yeah.
So some people I know are like, like for sure, not even doing the dab, like just,
straight up hugging.
Yeah.
Just open mouth kissing.
No. I'm saying some people don't even want to dab. Like they're not even interested and like.
Well, you can't do that from 6 feet away, obviously. So.
That's my point.
Right,
that's what I'm saying. That some people are down to do that.
Sure.
Some people do like a hug this way, but keep their face this way. Everybody's got a different thing that they're into.
I think if you just kind of turn your face away and hold your breath while you hug, that should be fine, right?
I don't know.
Well, you asked me why it's so fascinating to me. It's just first of all, I'm always curious about everything. I've always been that way. I'm just infinitely curious about the world.
But I feel like even as you're like digesting things, it's still not enough.
Well, I'm less.
Because I would say you're one of the most educated people on the subject at this point.
Hey, you hear that, America?
Well, it's true. It's like
I read about it a lot.
I would say too much. That would be my argument.
Actually,
let it lay. COVID will be here next week. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's not going on holiday.
I'm not super well versed on the nuances of COVID specifically. I'm more well versed on people's responses to it, what different states and governments and individuals are doing. Like the social impact, I'm pretty well versed on. But like the science of COVID, I know the basics like everybody else for the most part. But the one thing I have really researched, and I think we should have been doing as a nation and world long before this, but now more than ever, is just day-to-day things that can help you be healthy across the board in terms of like exercise more, eat, better food, less drinking, less smoking, less sugar.
Other than sugar, I do all of those things. I don't drink. I don't smoke.
Right.
I eat pretty well.
Yeah.
But I like sugar.
Yeah.
It's the last man standing. I can't let it go.
It's tough. Well, but you can moderate. I mean, I like sugar too. It's just moderation. I think the tougher one, especially from what I've read, is that COVID's really hitting people who have things like diabetes and other complications.
But it's
with
also,
obesity.
shocker. Like a thing that is affected by your immune system. If you have other parts of your immune system that are weaker, then you're more susceptible. Like that's the thing. Like I don't understand how that's news. Like I don't mean to sound insensitive.
It's not that it's new. It's not like.
But I feel like people are. I feel.
Nope.
I'm not a paranoid person in general, right? To me, I'm like, if something's meant to be, it'll be. If not, so be. Like I can't exist in a place where like I know some people that it's like it's I think the paranoia has started to taper as we've like we've discovered more information and things like that, but I don't know. So I feel like to me I'm like I feel like all of these things in the same way where like a couple of weeks ago I was like, why are we still telling adults that they need to wash their hands?
But that's the thing, is that it is news because people haven't been doing that. Like, it should be obvious.
Who's not washing their hands?
I'm sure plenty of people, apparently.
Guys, wash your hands.
Well, I mean, with, like, I'm talking about with, like, the just being healthier all around. Like, you're saying, like, why is this news? But sadly, people just think about how unhealthy so many... I'll just speak about the United States. I don't know enough about other countries, but how sedentary...
Most countries are actually healthier.
I believe it. Probably.
Well, not as many countries have an obesity epidemic like we do.
But that's what I mean. It's like, how is this news to anyone? It's not even that it's news. It's that I think that many Americans have just kind of been like, whatever.
Well, but also like there's a lot of areas that are, food insufficient, and there aren't.
That is true.
They don't have the capability to, or like food stamps only cover, whatever's at like the neighborhood store. There's no produce. There's no like,
I'm very acutely aware of that, unfortunately, just because I've been places and I see like, if you live in an impoverished neighborhood, your food options are incredibly limited. It's a whole other issue that, we don't have time to get into. We could get into it, but we've got a whole agenda of fun stuff to talk about. I'd rather not be so serious.
Well, yeah. So we saw Friends.
Yes. Let's talk about fun stuff. Remember?
I know. I'm just so like, I don't know. I can't figure it out. I've been with you now, experiencing you going through this for 7 weeks, and I'm like, I still can't figure it out.
Well, I
told somebody, it feels like living with a guy from The Beautiful Mind. Like every day you're like, did you see this? You got to look at this thing. Here's what's going on.
But again, it's the social impact of it that that's the science of COVID is fascinating. But like, to me, I'm like, okay, like people who understand science much more than I do are tackling that. I'm studying, and partly because I'm a comedian and a podcaster, and I like to keep a pulse on what's going on in the world, and I like social commentary, and I listen to a lot of podcasters who do social commentary and political commentary. So I'm studying. It's just, one of my friends posted something like joking today, but I think there is some truth to this. They said something to the effect of like, people who don't live in the states that are reopening are hoping for spikes just so they can say, I told you so. Like, what I mean by that is like, he's being silly, but I say that to say we will infinitely divide ourselves and politicize ourselves no matter.
I think it's laziness.
It's laziness, it's tribalism, it's hatred for like, it's almost like,
well, it's also I think what's happening is it's also like the media, both the liberal media and conservative media, are doing exactly what they want to, which is like they're turning everybody against each other instead of people paying attention again to like the very like easy optics, right? Where I said like when coronavirus, we were first learning about it and everything was like coronavirus. And then it was like, there was always like red and dark and like mad, like the font on CNN was like the same font as the Goosebumps books. And I was like, what are we doing? Like nobody, like, of course, like people can't slow down enough to look at that and go, oh, the way this is being marketed to me is to scare me.
Yeah.
And so how can I separate what it's being marketed to me from the facts that I'm receiving? Because certainly like, even like the flu season should be relatively like, people should have awareness about that. I mean, I'm not saying it's the same with the flu. Don't at me. I'm just using it as a suggestion of saying that it's like, you know, any of these things that have to do with our health, like, we should all always be aware of them.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very real thing, but the fact in which people are like not, it's that same thing of like where I say to my little kids, like, hey, think before you speak.
Right.
Just think before you speak.
But that's, I guess,
does this need to be shared?
I guess to me, like, you're saying, like, why do you keep, like, you can't stop looking at it? It's like, yeah, because the infrastructure of our country is falling apart, and that's
I don't know.
So wrong, dude. So many small businesses are gone and will never come back. And,
I'm just saying, I'm not saying that it's not a, you know, another hot button word, right? Unprecedented time. I'm not saying that. I don't mean to seem lackadaisical at all. I'm very compassionate to everything that's going on and everything that everyone is experiencing. I mean to say that I am not interested in going to that place of like, what's going to happen in this economy and this and this and that, because I also go, all right, well, we've made it through 2 world wars, Cuban Missile Crisis, you know, segregation. Like, we've made it through all of these things, and it's what we do as humanity is we experience these things, and hopefully we're learning something along the way, and it is changing our infrastructure.
Sure, but here's the important part. Come November, we vote on a national, state, and local level of who we want to take us the next 4.
Right, but I think you and I agree that we weren't really presented with solid candidates on either side.
Remove presidential election aside. I'm keeping tabs. I'm just talking about California, right, and LA. I'm keeping tabs on what's happening because in November, I'm going to vote for people based on if I think they're making a good decision at the state and local level. I'm studying what they're doing and what they're enforcing, and, you know, it's important to care about your community. And
I'm not attacking. I'm asking because I'm genuinely asking.
I would like to be, I'm very upset that I feel like many people in this country not only are being left behind, but being almost mocked. Or just being like, oh, you are so selfish and all you care about is earning money. It's like, not everybody's a billionaire who wants to like screw their workforce. There's a lot of people in this country who fought really hard to build a business, be staples of their community, and they're being screwed by the banks, they're being screwed by the government, they're being screwed by big corporations. And like the fact that they're trying to find a safe way to operate their business in the new normal to stay alive, people are attacking them. Like, how is it possible that Delta Airlines can fly packed planes across the country, but somebody who has a hair salon is somehow a threat to public safety? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's not about making sense.
Okay, I understand that. What I'm saying is I'm trying to find ways to help bring awareness to folks who see someone who wants to like open up a business. And so instead of jumping to the conclusion of like, oh, they just care about making money, maybe pause and think about it from a couple different angles, and myself included. I'm trying to also see all the sides to it. But that's all I'm saying is it just bums me out when it somehow became you either only care about making money or and you're willing to let people die needlessly, or the complete opposite end where you want to protect every life, and if everybody goes bankrupt, who cares? That's all.
Yeah.
You're over it.
I just feel like we tell people this is a comedy podcast. Well, I feel like we should move on. But that's on me. I know. But I was genuinely interested because I know that it's been
I think that's a pretty fair way to.
I am not putting anything on you or placing anything on you
What do
at
you guys
all.
think? We're watching.
I'm simply asking because I don't ask in our day-to-day life because it's too much for me to take in. So this is the place in which, because I think that you're right. And I think the thing that a lot of my work and how I use my voice and through social and things like that is to remind people. People are always like, there's two sides to every story. It's like, there's actually multiple sides to every story.
There's infinite sides to every story.
And especially with something like this that, where it's like, well, how do we stop something like this? Or, what do we do to all of these things are multifaceted. It's not one way or the other. And so creating a dialogue, listening, checking your sources, having conversations, all of those things I think are really important. And even on the level of if you feel super powerless, the thing you can do is be kind.
Yeah, well, you should do that anyway.
Well, yeah, that and wash your hands.
Yes.
Wash your hands.
Be kind.
Wash your hands, wash your hands.
Be kind.
Everybody wash your hands now. Wash your hands now. Wash your hand now. Wash your hand now.
All right, I'm going to turn your mic off.
Okay.
Right. We do have fun segments.
Did.
We have fun segments.
This is actually a really fun show. We've lost all of you talking about COVID, and we said we weren't going to. But yeah, that's what we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about having a bike, but let's save it. Let's go ahead and move on.
We got a lot of fun stuff, so we're going to jump into that.
This is what a fun place to start. I'm excited for this. I don't know. You've got two things coming my way, and I don't know what they are.
Speaking of trying to keep yourself sane and healthy during this time.
Okay, it's wellness or whackness, y'all.
Okay, so if you don't know this segment, this is where I find items in the world, services, goods, whatever, that either fall into the wellness category. Well, they all attempt to be a wellness thing. And we debate if they actually do promote wellness or if it's complete whackness, if it's just silly, ridiculous, whatever.
Remember when that guy commented recently and called us out that we were spelling whack wrong?
Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite feedback that I've gotten.
I apologize to those who
He was like, by the way, y'all be spelling whack wrong. And I was like, oh my Lord. And I was so appreciative that that was it.
Yeah.
He didn't call us complete morons. It was just like, hey, heads up, y'all. You spelling whack wrong, So I'm
going to pull up this first item for you here.
Okay, go ahead.
And also what I did, so you guys watching live can see what it is I took a screenshot. I'm going to superimpose that onto the live stream while we're talking about this. But Rachel, tell everybody what we're looking at here.
Oh, God. I can only see the thing, and I'm already nervous. What is this?
Okay.
What a big dumb idiot. See you in your dream.
So it's the
relieving pressure effectively.
It's the iDream headrest or head mask. Okay, so tell us about this item, Rachel.
Brio iDream 5 head massager innovatively applies the air pressure and heat magnet technology to stimulate the human fingers needing to massage our ocular area, temple area. I wouldn't have said area twice, but that's just me. Forehead, back, and top head. Why don't they just say your head? Why? We get it. It wouldn't be like, I'm sorry, are they going to do all of the places?
But hold on. So, in all seriousness, you and I both struggle with getting really good, consistent sleep. How do you feel about wearing something like this to help you kind of get into...
You're supposed to wear that while you're sleeping.
I think it's supposed to help you decompress from the day and then go to... This website has a whole bunch of items. There's actually an eye mask version of just this without the head covering. But I think you do. It covers your eyes. It massages your head.
What was that store that used to be at the mall?
Brookstone.
Yep, thank you. How did you already have that? You locked and loaded, man.
Well, I think because when I was looking this up, it reminded me of Brookstone or Sharper Image, one of the two. They're kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It was like those two, and then if you were a little bit younger, it was Spencer's Gifts.
But Spencer's was just where I learned things about sex that I probably shouldn't have because it was on inappropriate gifts.
I bought so many T-shirts from Spencer.
Why is that not surprising?
Limp Bizkit, Slipknot, all those. Wait, read this last thing real quick.
Did you have so many friends or what? Okay. Designed to
I actually
improve...
had quite a bit of friends, okay? They liked the same music as me. We went to Ozfest together and Warped Tour. Okay, what was it for about the...
How old were you when you went to Ozfest?
15, 16.
God.
It was awesome. Dude.
You know, I think about it like I'm like if I had like a, you know, some sort of like a pill or something, and it was like a memory pill, and it's like right now you can take this and decide whatever past memory you want to relive.
Yeah.
I would want to be able to go there.
You would want to relive the memory of me at
I would just want to like join you, but me as me now. So it would just be me babysitting 15-year-olds. I would be the chaperone.
Well, when I went, this is what I remember. I do remember the lineup from when I went for the most part.
Okay, hold it. Let's go back.
You want to talk more about the sleep mask?
I remember the lineup. Of course you do.
Wait, read this.
So it's just, okay, massaging temples can relieve eye tiredness. We're just stretching to sell things. You know what I mean? Just, come on. And brighten eyes? Who... find these people. Is there a feedback? There's no space between eyes and massaging. Who read this content?
Okay, the copy might be bad, but the product looks cool, I think.
I don't know.
Stupid, but I mean, I wouldn't wear it out.
Stay strong and enjoy 20% off. I should get 20% off just for reading this.
Yeah, wait, do you see? Look at
There's not a space in any of those sentences.
Look at the promo code.
Flatten the curve. Oh, peace be with you. Be blessed. Be well.
So you wouldn't wear this to bed?
I am so, if I woke up one morning and you were wearing that, I would punch you in the face.
How much do you think it costs?
So much more than it needs to. So much more. $439?
Yeah, for the Brio iDream 5. You can return it for free 30 days in.
Why wouldn't you just go get a massage?
Well, because you put it on, you wear it to bed. So you're not into it. You say whackness.
Who? 100%.
Okay.
And come at me if somebody's watching this right now with their Brio on, being like, she doesn't know anything, you know?
Yeah.
And also, if you're the person who wrote the copy, call me. Tell me how you got this job.
If you guys want to see what this website is, it's breo.com. They have stuff for neck massagers, hand massagers, eye masks.
Oh, they have multiple products?
Yeah, check this out. Look, here is their hand massager line, okay? So one's called the WoWo S, and it's for soothing your hands.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, you put.
Oh my God!
I don't have a picture for live stream, but
Nope.
I'll make a clip. It's like a jar you put your hand in. And it massages it, dude. You know, dudes are putting their dicks in there for sure. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. Come on, that looks
dude,
like
Warped Tour, bro. Okay, next one.
Right,
I can't beat somebody putting their penis in one of those, so we're done.
So you say whackness.
100%.
Right.
Was that designed for me to say wellness? I don't think so.
No, you're right. Okay, I have a question for you.
Okay.
How do you feel about aromatherapy? Well, elaborate.
Well, okay.
And also tell people what it is if they don't know.
Okay, so aromatherapy, obviously aroma meaning the scent of something. So that's where these essential oils come in, right? Very debatable. Some people are totally on board and some people are like, you're selling me fake things. There's some that I like, and then there's some that I'm like, okay. I mean, like eucalyptus, tea tree oil.
Okay.
Those things are actually like have been used in like medicine for.
But you feel like maybe inhaling the scents kind of calms you down or takes you to
For sure. I mean, lavender before bed is really good. Lemon or citrus in the morning if you're having trouble waking up is really good.
Yeah, so if you were like out and about and there was like portable aromatherapy, would you think you'd be into it? Because these...
Alex, I'm so angry at you right now.
Why?
Because you thought I was upset with you when we were talking about COVID, and now I'm just like full on...
This is an item I think we should get.
Okay.
Not the head massager. That's stupid. But this one. Okay. This right here...
The Boom Boom Variety Pack.
So they're little sticks. They're about the size of like a chapstick tube. And it's got different aroma scents in it. And in fact, I've got some audio here that kind of explains it to you.
Upgrade your mood on demand with Boom Boom. It's the simplest and most effective aromatherapy nasal inhaler ever made. Our custom blend of therapeutic grade essential oils and stimulating scents will make you feel more alert and focused. You'll experience a refreshing, cooling, tingly sensation that makes you feel alive. Now you can refresh and rejuvenate your mind without harmful chemicals or sugary energy drinks.
Okay, you get the idea. There's like another minute and a half of that. But
they're trying to tell me right now that if I take that as the equivalent of an energy drink.
Well, I think what they're trying to say is that it gives you a little boost. So
yeah, they're calling it a boom boom.
Yeah. So it's, you just shake it and then the only thing is weird is you stick it in your nostril and like take like a
that's
like
not
a bump.
Yeah, that's for sure. That is a drug. That has nothing to do. And look at the marketing on that. Like that looks like those Extends pills that are that's $30.
Well, it's 5 of them. The funny part is that actually I went to their Instagram.
There's something else that's funnier. They have an Instagram account?
Yeah. So their Instagram account, actually, let me see if I can get the link up here because it was super funny. And the marketing is like, all right, I see who they're targeting here. Can
I read some of these reviews?
Oh, yeah. Let's read the reviews here. Okay.
Okay, here's from Elaine M., a verified buyer. She says, very impressed, okay? Both my husband and I were impressed with the inhaler. We love the variety of smells. Husband put one in his trunk, so he has it available to use at any time. I put one in my purse, so I can also use it anytime I want, okay? 2 people gave that a yes, this was helpful. 2 people said no. I want to know what the 2 people who said no, they're like, here's what she left out.
Well, I just like that Joseph K. just wrote, very good taste-wise.
I don't think they're supposed to taste.
Well, you probably have the flavor on your tongue when you inhale it.
No, Joseph K. They're not for eating. Yeah,
I think it's worth trying. I think
also all of these are fake. They're all from like the same few days.
Yeah, that's
There's
true.
no way that people are like constantly.
Yeah, they're all in the same window of unless they did a promo. But the funny part is, I was like, oh, now I see who they're targeting. Their Instagram, a lot of it is just like pictures of girls at like EDM festivals holding. The little boom boom sticks. Let me see if I can pull this up here. I know you guys watching live can't see it. Sorry, but you get the idea. Oh, never mind. It's not coming up. But
yeah, and there's only one photo of a woman at yeah.
No, if you scroll way down, they're at the bottom. So like their early marketing was.
So that means you spent a lot of time looking at their Instagram. If you had to scroll all the way to the bottom to find it.
I do a lot of research on the content that we put on this show. Okay, I put a lot into this. So it seems like their marketing in the beginning was for like rave girls, and then.
I just stop right there. That's all I need to know. That's for sure. That's not a product for me. If it's being marketed towards rave girls,
but then
I'm pretty sure that
they reposition their marketing to everybody. I don't know. I think it's worth like you're just kind of tired and gives you a little.
Are you saying that you want me to give you boom boom sticks for Christmas?
Well, the only weird thing is calling it boom boom because. I remember hearing
that's the only weird thing.
Well, one of the weird because I remember like I had a friend who like when their kid like would poop his diaper, it's like I made a boom boom, and so
we've got to move on.
All right,
okay.
So both whackness.
They're both whackness. They're not for me. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, another fun segment coming up. You know what's next?
Should we buy this for our house?
So similar. What are you shaking your head for?
I can't with today's episode.
All right. Well, I thought I found some great.
No, I'm not. You're doing a great job. Everything you're doing is right.
Anyway, okay. So
God, I am so charming.
That's one opinion. Similar to Whackness or Wellness. This is Should We Buy Things for Our House? If the name doesn't explain it, I find items. Sometimes Rachel finds items that we think maybe it's worth something to buy for the house, and we present it to the other. And we decide. So, this one I think is pretty cool because I love our bedroom here and back in LA. But it could use a little something to spruce it up, maybe add a little pizzazz to it.
Like a Bob Marley.
So what do you think about this?
Tapestry. 60,000 stars original home planetarium. So 50% off today.
Yeah, it's only $25.
Well, that's a cute thing for like a little kid.
You don't think it's cool? Like it's got all the little like starlights around the bedroom?
Yeah, I think for a kid, that's...
You wouldn't want it in our room?
I don't think that we would need it. And what are you talking about? You couldn't sleep with that. You have to have our bedroom like pitch black. I can't even get up to use the restroom because I'm like, well, I'll break my ankle. But do you want to pee or do you want to break your ankle?
But when we're...
Feels like Survivor.
I think that looks kind of cool. You think it's corny for an adult?
100%.
Might just corny.
But also, you had lights, like string lights hanging up in your apartment when we first started dating. Or in your bedroom.
I got a lot of compliments on those.
I'm sure you did.
From men and women. To clarify, it wasn't like the tacky rope light. It was like the same...
Oh, yeah. Let's be specific.
It was like the same string lights that like restaurants put up for their decor.
But you had it in your bedroom.
Because it looked nice.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think this looks cool, and I'm going to get it for a room that I get to decide. What was that for?
I just love imagining you just in some room.
Yeah, like if I have a home gym.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Do you imagine me lifting weights?
100%.
With this twinkle light. If you guys
No, it is really cool. But again, I have that has no business in our bedroom. But yes, I think if we had,
I saw
or when we have a little kid, and then you can go sit and read with them in their room and put that on.
Okay, I'm striking out today on items. All right, well, I've got one more for should we buy this for our house?
Okay.
And just, I know you're going to be like, what the fuck were you thinking? But just bear with me here.
Okay, I'm with you.
Have an open mind.
Okay.
All right. Now, I have an image here that I'm going to put on the live stream. So this is called the Bubbly Blaster. Now, how would you describe this item, Rachel?
Well, it's okay. This is actually kind of cool.
Oh, you're into it.
Well, I mean, I have no. Okay, so so it's the Bubbly Blaster, and it's literally a like, what is it called when you tap a keg? So yeah, so a tap. So it's a tap that goes into a bottle of champagne and then has a gun on it, so you can literally like spray it.
Yeah,
it's basically a thing that like douchey dudes will take to Vegas and then like spray 100%. Girls.
So if you're watching the live stream, here's a screenshot of how it works.
What's up? My name's Taylor. I'm starting my own.
Hold on. Even better. Why don't you give us the sales? Let's say you're trying to teach everybody about the benefits of this gun. Okay.
This is why we need better gun laws. Fun for any occasion. We've come up with a way to spray champagne that makes it even more fun with less mess. The Bubbly Blaster attaches to any champagne bottle, turning it into a long-lasting champer's cannon. I gotta take that last part again. Here we go. The Bubbly Blaster attaches to any champagne bottle, turning it into a long-lasting champer's cannon. The Bubble Blaster can be used one-handed. It's comfy to hold. What? It's comfy to hold, as well as being very controllable and efficient. It even works as a bottle stopper when you're not using it, preserving your champs to be enjoyed later on. Yeah, I mean,
you're not into it.
Listen, I'm like, you know.
But you love those Perrier bottles. We could put it on there. It is $100, so it's kind of expensive.
Could you imagine if I put that on Perrier?
100%. It would be so funny, dude. Imagine Tracy with that, spraying that in like her bad kid. Y'all.
Just popping bottles.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, again, like I have no business buying that. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm right now like looking for the best doctor so I can start to like prepare to get pregnant. So I know like that's what I'm shopping on the internet.
It does look super. I know that, first of all, like younger me, when I was in like a frat, we would have had these everywhere if we could. Look how fun that looks.
Sometimes I'm shocked we ended up together.
But we would have gotten like bottles of like Andre. What was like, did you ever drink like the really cheap shit? Like,
yeah, Andre.
Yeah, and we would have sprayed. But come on, that looks fun. You don't think so?
I mean, it just reminds me of like every dude that I was like, oh my gosh, look at these people. Fun for any occasion.
Yeah, look at
look at them. They're having fun. It's just so gross. But I get it.
You wouldn't want to get one for the Perrier bottles? I
don't think it's how I need to spend $100.
Okay.
But do they have an Instagram? Because, wow.
Yeah, they do. But
so many people have HPV that are in those photos. That's that I for sure know.
Oh my God!
What's up? My name's Devin, and I'm studying communication.
Are you just doing a parody of me in college?
I don't know.
I studied communication.
Shocker.
Okay. Well, that was. So it sounds like it was all no's all around for.
But you know what? You did a good job. Those were fun ones.
I thought those were cool.
No one is saying they weren't. I literally just gave you a compliment, and then you were defensive.
I know, but it sounded a little bit sarcastic.
Nope.
I guess you have to have a carbonated beverage for the gun to work. I'm trying to think what would be. Like champagne is solid.
Right.
Soda water's a good one.
Yep.
You know, would be hilarious. Mountain Dew.
Gross.
Right?
That's so gross.
Or a Red Bull. That'd be a funny one. I guess it'd be sticky, though. You don't want a sticky one.
I feel like we got to move on.
Okay. All right. We're moving on.
What's that? Oh, we've already here. We've made it. We've arrived. All right, guys. Yeah. This is that OG segment. This is Rachel Learns the News.
Okay.
So now this week, You picked all the news. I've not seen them.
Yeah.
And you let me know that similarly, you pitched me, you're like, so I want to do the news this week instead of like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
You had originally pitched me the good, the weird, and the new normal.
Yeah, we could do like the good, the weird, and the silly, or the good, the weird. You're like, is this the new normal? I'm like, again, I'm trying to stay away from. There's so much. The world is ending. Fuck. Like, I don't want any of that news.
Yeah.
So I got one story. It's just, it's so sweet. Always good to have some good, happy news. Just pure, sweet, happy news. Right? We're starting with that.
Pure and sweet and happy news.
And then we got.
It's a happy news and it's sweet.
And then are you going to start interrupting me with singing again?
No.
You know our children are going to do that.
It's going to be so obnoxious.
And I'm going to be like, your mom did this to you. I can't say. Maybe I can. I probably could if I learned, right? I probably have the potential if I really put the work in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can rap. If you can rap, you could sing.
I can rap really well. But that's because I'm good at rhyming on my feet and I can just keep basic rhythm. I would never, I'm not going to be like Lil Dicky, which by the way.
Oh, I was saving it. We're gonna do what we're watching. That's what we're closing out with.
Okay, all right, we'll get to that at the end.
I know, because I think Todd was watching, and
he was earlier.
Yeah, we're.
If he still is, if you're still watching,
we're obsessed with Dave. Okay, hi, I'm Dave.
So,
right.
So one story is like this pure love, like, oh my god, it's so sweet. One is like, it's a little weird. Okay, maybe like this could backfire, but it's an interesting take. And then one is like, really, this is the new.
All right, well, hit me. Let's go.
Okay, so we'll start with the good.
Oh my gosh, this says Memphis dad builds stage in his driveway to throw his daughter a graduation.
Now look at the picture here, and I'll put one on Instagram later. That's like a legit graduation stage. And not only that, he had speakers come in. He had a whole sound system. He had somebody come and make a speech. So here, you can read this right here.
Fox 13 reports after seeing his daughter, Gabrielle Price, upset and crying for a week because she was unable to walk, Torrance Burson, Pierce's father, decided to throw Pierce a graduation at their home. I went to bed and woke up in the middle of the night and said, that's it. I'm just going to be the graduation here.
It must.
Nobody is checking copy on the internet. Can we learn that today?
Yeah, all right. We keep going.
Like unless it's in your own Instagram post, somebody should be checking this.
But
okay,
this is
I'm
the best
getting
part.
there. Okay,
this is the best part.
The graduation included a full stage, presenters, speakers, and neighbors watching in the street. In a statement, Pierce said, "I was just in awe. I was amazed, and I couldn't believe that a lot of people showed up. People were driving by yelling congratulations." That's adorable.
I mean, that is. To me, like, one thing I've noticed when I was in the.
He has like palms and everything. Look at that.
Yeah, he really put some serious work in. He's got a podium. There's a full sound system. He has a banner. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't something.
Is this dad in like set deck?
He's not. This is not like a half-assed setup. I mean, he really like put the work in, But my thing is like now, so like when I was losing my hair, I started noticing all the bald dudes around and who shaved their head and whatever.
It's a good looking bald dude.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella. Now that I'm thinking about in the next couple of years, we'll hopefully have children. I'm keeping dad notes. I'm like, oh, what are the dads that are crushing it doing? Right? I'm like, this guy. Look, his daughter worked very hard.
That's a good segment, dad notes.
Yeah.
And you just highlight, or like dad of the week.
Yeah.
And you just highlight cool things that dads do.
Well, this is dad of the week right here.
All right. Well, there you go.
This gentleman, and he's just like, I just did it. So,
aw, that's sweet.
So what a stud. So congrats to you, sir. What was his name again? Mr.
Torrance.
Yeah.
Torrance Burson.
Torrance Burson. All right. So that was the good. Okay.
All right.
Now we're going to jump into the weird news. All right. This is a real thing going on in the world right now.
From The Guardian. Okay, Dutch.
Oh, sorry. 1 second. There we go.
Dutch official advice to single people. Find a sex buddy for lockdown. Those without sexual partners asked to consider arrangement during corona crisis. Okay.
So what do you think about this? First impressions.
This is why everybody wants to move to the Netherlands. I'm like, what else can the Netherlands or like Holland? I'm still not certain. Is it like Sweden, Holland, Dutch? I still don't totally understand how all that works.
And I've had so many friends because all the interns where I used to work.
Yeah, I know.
and they explained it to me over and over. And so Holland is in the Netherlands,
but it's a region. Holland is a
Yes.
region. Yeah, it's not like it's
Right.
Holland is not a country.
Amsterdam is a city in the Netherlands.
Right.
We don't know, is what we're saying. Okay, but anyway.
But I believe I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but I know that like it's a region, so it's like describing that region because
Yeah.
also like anyway,
Everybody I met from there was super cool.
they're great. You know what I mean? Let's go Dutch.
Yeah. That could be the new Let's Go Dutch is now, hey, do you want to hook up with no commitments because we're in lockdown?
Yeah, normally it just means do you want to split the bill, but yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of the same thing.
Yeah, why is it called Let's Go Dutch when you split the bill? Is that
I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that's always how I know a date is bad.
if he says let's split the bill?
Yeah.
Well, before we met,
Not that like, and you know me, I'm always like happy to split things halvesies. But I know you're probably like any date that I went on that ended in dude being like, so do you want to go Dutch? I'm like, this is for sure. I'm happy to leave here.
let me ask you this. Were there any dudes who wanted to go Dutch and then followed up like, let's see each other again?
Probably. There are some dudes that are so clueless. It is fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm sure women as well, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right. But, generally men ask women out first. It's just, so far it's
Sometimes.
not always.
I know. I mean, I feel like the tides are changing on that one.
Hey, technically you asked me to go on a hike first.
And then you never responded.
And then months later,
Talked me up at this thing, and then you're like, yeah, we should go. I'm like, all right, yeah. And like,
Right.
I put myself out there. I'm like, hey, we should go on a hike sometime. Nothing.
let me get back on point because I have a real question here. I do.
Okay.
Do you think, because we're both like, hey, listen, everybody should have, equal this and that, regardless of gender, etc. Do you think we will enter a world where going Dutch is just the standard to try and have no, like, men are the ones in control over women?
Well, I don't think splitting the bill is going to be a factor that will change us being in a predominantly patriarchal society. But I do think that it is a way for women who choose to exercise. Like some women seek men who are providers. So
Yeah.
they want a guy. Like if a guy asked them if they wanted to split the bill, it would be a turnoff, right? I know that there are women who still are looking for primarily someone who's a provider. That's not necessarily for me. I'm more of like the Cher school of thought, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean when I say that? Her like famous quote. Like there's this famous quote of like, my mom told me marry a CEO or something. And it was like, Mom, I'm going to be that CEO or something.
Okay, that's cool.
That's not exactly what the quote is.
And
It's
even
than
better,
that,
if you become a CEO and marry a CEO, a double CEO household, then you're mega rich.
Yep. Stay tuned.
That would be cool in our house, right? If you run a network and I run a network, and okay.
Running a network sounds so stressful. Also, that's assuming we're still going to have networks. Anyway, let's stay on point. Yeah, I do think that there's more and more of that. But I think it depends on where you are. I think in Los Angeles, going Dutch is definitely much more likely. But we didn't even talk about this Dutch article.
Okay.
So I think that totally makes sense because
if you're single and you're in lockdown, you should at least be encouraged to have some way to safely, couple up to get by.
all that tells me is that they have a very good health system because talking about sex isn't even something that in America there's people within the country that want us to be better educated on sex, and there's a lot of people that don't want any sex education.
I didn't even consider that part.
So the fact that their government is like, hey, here's a thing that we're suggesting, and they're not like, hey, we're suggesting, like, I don't know why when people hear like, oh, you should find someone to like have sex with it, like you feel safe, like suddenly people are like, put all of this like gross or like any sort of negative connotation on it versus like there is a lot of studies that show regular orgasms help they like boost oxytocin. They like emit serotonin. It's like good for your health. It keeps like your body like
that's the real wellness right there. You know
what I mean? It regenerates cells. These are all very real things. So from a health perspective, it totally makes sense that they're like, hey, we also suggest like in addition to your like wellness routine, why not considering finding a mate?
Yeah. Well, I think.
Wow, that says the government describes this as an intelligent lockdown.
Yeah, they're doing it better than us. But they're also a way smaller country. We never really figured out what that...
Don't have sex with your partner if they've been isolated because of suspected coronavirus. I feel like that goes without saying, but thank you for pointing that out, right? Sex with yourself or with others at a distance is possible. Okay, is there a follow-up to that sentence?
It must mean that it's like, digital foreplay or something.
Oh, that's smart. That's an option.
You just log on and strap in or whatever the... Okay.
I feel like we should move on.
All right, we're going to... Okay, I've got one more here. So that was the weird.
Okay.
Right? And then this one is the sillier. It's like, is this the new normal?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. This is my favorite one.
Oh, I saw this.
Okay.
The Inn at Little Washington thinks mannequins will make social distancing less awkward. The Michelin-starred restaurant hopes to make its dining room feel less empty once customers return to a limited capacity.
Look how sad the photo they're in. It's these sad mannequins.
This is a Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
3 Michelin stars.
What does that mean? I don't really know what that
So
means.
it's basically like creme de la creme of restaurants. So like the more Michelin stars you
it's
have.
Like a blue check mark?
Yes,
Okay.
essentially. I don't know whose idea that was, or like someone's like, we'll just spitballing. What if we just put like mannequins, dressed them up, set them around, people feel less awkward.
That's so much creepier, right?
So much creepier.
I mean, how would you feel?
But also, like, whose idea was it? I want to talk to that person.
Well, jokes aside, what I really think they're doing is they're just like, look, we are dying in the restaurant business. Let's just come up with some wackadoo scheme
100%.
to get social media buzzing so people come to the restaurant and do selfies with the mannequins and post about it. That's
When the Inn at Little Washington can host visitors inside its glamorous rural Virginia digs, Chef Patrick O'Connell plans to seat unused tables with mannequins wearing vintage 1940s style outfits. That sentence felt like a heart attack. That is a lot to take in.
So here's my thinking, right? And I'm dead serious. Hear me out. It opens May 29th. It's in Virginia. Also where my parents live.
Oh, let's go.
I mean, here's what even better. Tracy. But if you don't know Tracy, by the way, it's Rachel's character she does. It's hilarious. Follow y'all. It's Tracy on Instagram. All the content's on the Skewed Orbit page too. It's so funny. Imagine Tracy at the mannequin restaurant.
That is incredible.
What would she do?
She'd have to talk to every single one.
Imagine her interviewing.
She would walk around and be like, "Who is this?
Yeah, just imagine.
What a face. With all that 1940s. Is that one guy proposing? That mannequin is down on his knees.
Oh, man. It's very scary. It really feels like...
That looks like a ride at Disney. That's what that looks like.
Well, you know what it really seems like? It's almost...
Where did they have all these mannequins?
That's a good point. Like,
this is like an elaborate photo shoot.
Well, probably what happened is somebody's like retail store went out of business and they had mannequins and then...
Of 1940s fashion vintage clothing?
Yeah, that part I don't know. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Oh, it's...
Their tasting menus run at $248 a person. Your parents are going to have to take us.
I don't think we're going to end up
That is
going.
above our pay grade. But also, I mean, wow. What? All right. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still into it.
We
you know
could
what I
go
mean?
get, like appetizers.
That's their tasting menu. I love that. No, that's so gross. If we just show up and we're like, hey, we want to just have some appetizers and walk around and take selfies with these here
Can we
mannequins.
split a mozzarella sticks? Can you imagine how mad they would
Hey,
be?
do you guys have mott sticks?
Okay.
I'm going to take a couple selfies.
Well, that's it for
Do a lap around for the
That's
bathroom.
it for the news. Do you like the new format? We'll do one good story, one weird story.
I think that's great.
and
I think that's
one
great.
silly story.
Well, so we've got about 10 more minutes, and I think we got to wrap up with what we're watching.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, let's hold on. We got to jump into the segment properly. I got to transition us with some music. I don't have to, but I want to because I just feel like it. Okay. So, what are we going to do, Rachel? We're going to talk about
What we're watching. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, see, Trudy, I just saw your comment. So, yeah, you're with us. So, Trudy says, yeah, that she just thought that about the mannequins and thought it was really cool. I think so, too. I'm on board.
Listen, I applaud any business for just making an honest effort.
Well, the thing that I think is really cool about this time, because I'm always looking for the silver lining, because there's a million things. Like if I want to be depressed, I just go online. You know what I mean? Like we get it. It's like, who knows what's happening in the world? We don't. A couple of your friends probably do. They're posting how they know everything about what's going on. But point being, I'm always looking for like the silver lining of things. And I feel like that is one thing where it's like, there are still a lot of people with like crazy creativity that are like taking advantage of what this time is in a way that's positive. And like that would never be a thing in any other scenario. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I didn't pull the story up because we just didn't have enough time, but they're doing 3-piece, they're calling it the trikini. And it's a bikini top and bottom with a matching mask of the same like pattern. So whatever, like let's say it's like blue florals.
Yeah.
And they have that in face covering.
Okay, well I actually kind of like that.
Well, there's silver lining. There you go.
That's funny. Okay. I just thought I was singing the song in my head, Silver Lining. That's why I paused for a second.
What we're watching. So
okay,
if you look back a couple episodes ago, we reviewed the trailer for the Tom Hardy Capone movie. We rented it on Amazon Prime. We watched it. And Rachel, your thoughts?
I'm proud to say we made it through, that we're still here, live to talk about it. That is the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've literally spent the entire week being like, have I ever seen a worst movie?
So there's 4 of us in the house here. Rachel and I, and then 2 like close family friends who, live here long term. The 4 of us watched it. Collectively, we all were like, God, how did they screw this up so bad? And I love Tom Hardy, and I love gangster movies. And yeah, it was definitely, I don't know if I'd say it was the all-time worst movie ever.
Can you think of a movie that's worse that you've seen? Because I genuinely cannot think of a movie that I've seen recently that was worse.
Recently, no, definitely not. Yeah, I don't know. It might have been the worst movie I've ever seen. There was nothing. It wasn't, the dialogue was bad.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen because they did this thing where it bounces back and forth between like what Capone is seeing, because it's in the last year of his life. So he has diagnosed with syphilis, and it causes basically dementia-like symptoms, right? So it totally random and 2 minutes behind.
There's a village named Mannequin, Virginia.
Funny.
Yes.
Sorry. So shout out to Joey Houston, who lives with us. He just got damn, no shout out.
Well, I didn't know if you want us to name you, Joey. All right. So
also, Joey, I don't know. I didn't want to bring up the memory for you of having to live through watching that movie.
Yeah,
That's how bad it was.
That was.
And we ordered Mellow Mushroom, and it was so disappointing.
Yeah.
Which, if you have Mellow Mushroom near you, you probably know how delightful it is. And I was like so stoked. I was like, dude, we're doing like family movie night. We're gonna like get like the best pizza.
I know, right?
We're gonna get all this stuff. We're gonna and then it was so. Linda Cardellini is in it, who I love.
Yeah, Neil Brennan was in it. He made a little cameo.
And like, but because there are so okay. So from how do I break this down? So there's the tone of television, right? Or so like meaning that if you watch a comedy, you know it's a comedy because tonally it matches what you know to be a comedy. So it makes you laugh and things like that. So you also know if you're watching a drama, right? It's the same way of just like reading basic emotions, right? Like emotion books you read to babies so they learn when someone's frowning, they're sad. When somebody smiles, they're happy, right?
Yeah,
that's tone, funny. Okay? It's a very, very like basic, rudimentary thing when you are writing a script, and definitely when you are making any sort of artistic piece. What is the tone of it? This movie had no idea because there were like joke pieces, but I think it was trying to be like this like dark comedy. Like it was so bizarre, and the movie never heightened. So heightening, again, is like where there's climax, right? That something happens and we're watching this intensity rise and then it explodes, right? And then you have falling action. It's the most basic thing, right? Like 5-point structure. It's like status quo, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. That's literally every single story, including any like well-written commercial you've ever heard. 5-point structure. It's that simple. This movie was just long. It was just one scene. And Linda Cardellini being like, oh no. That was it.
Yeah, it was. For now, it's gonna hold the place of worst movie I've ever seen.
worst movie I've ever seen.
I mean, I'm trying to think. There's what are some other tops?
How can I get to Tom Hardy when I meet him at some event? That's going to be the thing. Like, I hope it's in like an event that's so inappropriate for me to walk over and be like, hey, Tom, can we talk about Capone?
He's going to be like, no, absolutely not.
Like, I'm going to be like,
he has to know it was bad.
When I have the proper connection, I am going to utilize it for all it's worth to be able to talk to him, to be like, what were your thoughts when it came out?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, so can you think of any other top terrible films you've sat through?
That one that we watched when we were here in January. What was that one?
Oh, God, what was that?
With Anne Hathaway and McConaughey.
Yeah.
And it was
So that's 2 in a row, the movies that we've been like, oh,
But that one at least was like hilarious. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
This one was like, and I like could understand what they were going for.
What it was now.
That was like a ship. It was ship or the fishing gone shipping. Fish me a ship. While he looks that up, I'm gonna pivot us, okay, real quick. So shout out to our loyal listeners and good buddies here, Jamie and Todd Verono. Okay, they're our homies, and we were over there, and we were talking about this segment. I was like, I don't know, I haven't been able to like find anything that I'm like super invested in. They're like, dude, you have to watch Dave. It's by this YouTuber, Little Dicky. It's on FX.
He's a legit rapper.
And I was like, I don't know.
Serenity, that was the movie.
Serenity. Thank you. Wow. I mean, Serenity now, boy, was that bad. So we've been watching Dave, and it is the dialogue in that show is so real and so funny.
Also, 2 shout outs on that show. Andrew Santino, hilarious stand-up comic. Like, truly one of the funniest comics I could think of working today. He's on it, super funny. And I think her name is Taylor Mosaic is on it. She's really good. I never heard of her, but this is like her breakout role.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
And Gata, the like kind of hood black dude. And
well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of times, and again, I don't know where you're listening from or what your exposure is, but there is a big movement in Hollywood to create more diverse voices.
Yep.
And even what that means is just showing more. Like, for so long, it's like we have played black people in a certain light. We've played, women in a certain light. We have played, any like black and brown people, Asian people, like old people, anybody in all of these different hot people. I mean, think of anything and we have basically pigeonholed people. So there's this big movement to make people 3D. Shocker. You know what I mean?
What do you mean 3D?
What a novel idea. Meaning like showing that there are massive, like, there's so many different experiences that people have. It's not that like if you're black, this is your experience. If you're brown, this is your experience.
They did that perfectly because like the 2 main black leads, one guy is your kind of stereotypical like rapper character hood type guy, and the other one is like clearly he's from an affluent family. They joke about how he had his dad is a dentist. He grew up with privilege, and he's like the sound engineer. And it's like, yeah, like people are people from all different backgrounds.
Yeah. And so it's just really, really well done in that way. And like they've put a lot of different people together and kind of like teeter on that line between like grounded interaction with like things that are almost like slightly askew.
Yeah.
But if
the parents are good, the Jewish parents are very typical. Like,
oh my gosh, it is so funny because like anytime that they're having the phone calls, just reminds me of our phone calls.
But with my parents,
oh yeah. I mean, they're obviously like
mine are more normal than
no. Well, let me finish. I was gonna say it's a heightened version, obviously,
right.
But that
it's still like, wait, someone logged into Netflix? Who logged into Netflix? We gotta. What the world isn't? Yeah. Anyway,
or just hold on. What did they say, honey? What did they say? Tell me what they said. Hold on. It's like just slow down and wait. Just come to the phone and like here,
I know.
But I had never had any exposure to like stereotypical like Jewish families or like Jewish interactions or like what that is.
Yeah, you never dated a Jewish guy before.
Never dated a Jew. You're my first one.
But you went to some bat mitzvahs as a kid.
I did.
Didn't you say like you were so jealous because one of your friends,
Chad Paris, shout out Chad, he had full Hershey's bars with his face on it, and I was like, I'm never gonna get one. I'm never gonna get that. You know.
You know who would be awesome to have her face printed?
Tracy.
Yeah, right. Everything I just say, it's but could you imagine like imagine Tracy on like Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yeah, 100%.
It's her just like, hey y'all.
I should get M&Ms made. That just have her face on them.
No, you want it bigger than that. That's too tiny.
Just thought that'd be fun.
Okay, so skip Capone, watch Dave.
Yep.
Well, anything else? I think that
I think that's it. Yeah, we this next week's gonna be fun. I'm getting a bike.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some bike trails.
I will say, if you live in the Georgia, Atlanta area, overall, I've been biking nonstop on the Silver Comet Trail. It is awesome, dude.
You're loving it.
It's great. It's 61 miles of secluded bike paths.
I know. Well, you know why I know it's good is every single person you've brought it up to, they've gone, oh yeah.
Yeah, they love it.
Like every single person has had that, like, oh yeah, like kind of like, yeah, that's a good one.
You know what else I love about it? I think it's and we'll end on this little tidbit here, unless you want to chime in.
No.
But I think the Silver Comet Trail is a perfect example of how we can take the infrastructure in our country and repurpose it for a great future use. So that used to be a train track, and the train track became defunct. So instead of just letting it go into disrepair, they said, hey, let's keep this railroad line here and just turn it into a functional bike trail. People walk their dogs on it.
It's like a giant Pinterest project.
Sure. I don't really follow the logic there. But yeah, that crashed and burned. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
They can't all be aces, you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, here's what I will say is this was episode 21. We front loaded it with our COVID talk.
Yeah, that really set you off there, huh? My dad texted me in the middle and he goes like I'm gonna read it.
What did he say? Be funny?
He's clearly watching right now. He goes like,
hey Dad.
Why does Rachel disagree with you on everything on the podcast? Is this part of the gig? And then he made like the wacky face.
No. This is part of the marriage, Bob. Yeah. This is it.
Because she loves to push my buttons.
No, and I don't disagree with you. I am just interested because you and I. It's so interesting that there are things that we see almost identical, and we are so similar, and then in other ways we are like polar opposites. Mm-hmm. So I'm just interested because we both view what is happening in the world very differently, and we live in the same house, which is, I think, the bigger ideal, which is what you were trying to share this week, and what I think some of your frustrations were coming from of like, there are many sides to this die, and let's stop persecuting each other for having different points of view. So yeah, let's close it on that. Ask people, talk with people, create a dialogue. And if you don't have anything nice to say,
then get off Facebook.
Nope. I was going to say, download our podcast. You guys, this was episode 21. This is House Rules. I'm Rachel LaForce.
I'm Alex Gettlin.
We are here live every Monday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern.
Yes.
Yep. I don't know why you paused. I had it.
Well, okay. You finish.
Play me out. All right. Oh, I hear feelings. See, guys, we are here every Monday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. If you like us, let us know. We're going to be bringing back review of the week, LaForce's What's My Course? So if you guys have any questions, we're also going to start working on some callers. We're going to start taking callers. So we've got a lot of fun segments coming up. So again, if you like this, tell a friend, tell an enemy, because we will take their viewership as well. You got something to say?
No, you did it. Thank you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. All right, bye, guys.
Bye, guys. See you next week.